So we got some really good Pocket Anime news, like some really good Pocket Anime news. Now Pocket Anime has officially announced the roadmap for the game, and with this we got a lot of good things, and we also got an approximate time frame on the game's release date. So let's actually head straight into it and take a look at the roadmap more in depth. So if you head over to the Pocket Anime Discord server, in announcements you can see they announced the roadmap. Hello trainers, we're thrilled to announce the development roadmap for Pocket Anime. This roadmap ensures everyone has an idea of what we can expect for each quarter of the game, making sure everyone's in loop. As we work towards each quarter, we'll be posting updates regularly as much as we can. We'll be sure to go into more detail on what each of the planned updates are. And then boom, here we go. Now we're going to look at it in a bigger frame. And here you see quarter 2 pilot. Now we are currently in quarter 2. Sorry, my bad. Quarter 2 starts from April and it lasts all the way towards June. So this is actually the perfect timing to put this out because we are literally approaching April. So we're in quarter 2. We're about to be in quarter 2. And quarter 2 brings us 2 new areas, 2 new palaces, the testing phase 2, and anomalies. So this is very interesting because we don't know what anomalies are. It's probably going to be a part of the story where the villains start coming in, or something to do with the overworld that players have to partake to defend or participate in. Really interesting. Can't wait to see what that is. Now we have testing phase 2, and testing phase 2 is when we're going to encounter all these new things in quarter 2, or else we wouldn't know what any of these are, and we never would know. So if you previously bought testing or tester for Pocket Anime, or applied for it should I say, you're going to be able to take part in testing phase 2. Pretty sure you can still apply to become a tester as well if you want to do that now, but what you decide to do, whether you think is worth it or not, is up to you. You don't actually have to buy anything. So testing phase 2 is coming up soon, so sometime between April and June, which should be sometime within the next 2 months. I'm not gonna lie, I think sometime within the next 2 months. I don't think we're gonna have to wait to the end of June, but sometime within the next 2 months we're going to be taking part in testing phase 2, which I am super excited about, where we'll be continuing our playthrough from the first testing. So we're gonna have 2 new palaces as well. I've heard, I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that palaces is going to be this game's versions of gyms. So that's going to be interesting. We're going to be able to actually play through the game, the new areas that are involved in it, or should I say the new routes that are involved in it, and then the first 2 gym leaders, palaces, which is super interesting. I want to know how they structure the palaces. Is it going to be more Pokemon-esque where the palaces work like some sort of maze? You know how some gyms had mazes that you had to complete, or tasks you had to complete, or puzzles you had to complete before? I think it was Pokemon Platinum. In the electric gym, you had to do the puzzle where you had to make the floors align with each other and take the correct path, and you would run into trainers in between that. I wonder if we're going to get stuff like that in the palaces before we take on the gym leader. That'll be super interesting. Hopefully it's not you just walk in, talk to somebody, and then fight the gym leader. It'll be super interesting if there's a little bit of stuff going on beforehand, just to make it a little bit more entertaining, more challenging. And then we're gonna get 2 new areas on top of that, and I'm assuming this is going to be that one of the areas. This is the main place we saw in the trailer, where people are using mounts and things of that nature. And then we have Q3, Adventure Begins. So with the Adventure Begins, obviously testing phase 3 and release. Now what I like about Q3 is that it says testing phase 3 and release. Now quarter 3, if you don't know, ranges between July and September. So July is like the start-ish of summer for most, if not everybody. So during summer is when testing phase 3 is going to start, and I assume towards the end of summer, that August time, maybe beginning of September or mid-September, we're going to get released. In fact, I'm just going to call it end of September, because Roblox developers do like to wait until the very last minute of when they're going to say they want to do something to do it. So let's just assume the last week of September will be release, or around that time frame. Remember, quarter 3 is July to September, so yeah, end of September is probably going to be during release or release week. I'm just going to assume it could be earlier, and if they decide to delay, it could be later, but then it would contradict the roadmap. So let's just go according to the roadmap here. So end of September is release, and then testing phase 3 is in that early summer. So that's pretty cool. And then testing phase 3 is going to include an extra 2 areas. So for release, we're going to have what, like 5 or 6 areas, which is even more than Tales of Tenerio. Pretty interesting. We're going to have the 3rd palace, so we're only going to get an extra palace, so 3 gyms during release. Trading, which is going to be super interesting because shiny animons in this game actually have value because they get a max SV. They get free max SVs, which is super cool, and you know, that's going to be super valuable in trading, especially for competitive play, etc. And then we're going to have ranked 1v1s and 2v2s, super interesting. So release is going to be super hype, obviously. Here you can see a cave area, so that's super interesting with some sort of dragon head. Super interested to see what anime theme is in this area. Then here you see the rock climbing place that we got to see during the start of the game during testing phase 1. And then the last quarter, Into the Stars, which looks super cool as well. So in the last quarter, which is going to be after release, and quarter 4 is that October to December time frame, which should be when Revolveragz and Revolveragz is coming out. Wink, 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 wink. The big free. You're gonna have area 1, or we're gonna get another area. We're gonna get fusion, and I heard fusion is this game's version of breeding. So we're gonna be getting breeding after release, which isn't too bad. Breeding after release isn't too bad. People are gonna be focused on getting their dream teams, etc. What breeding really means is that you're going to be able to farm up max SV animons easier than going into the wild and RNGing it out, or going into the wild and praying you get those shiny odds. So fusion is going to be the best way to farm your competitive team, and I will be giving you guys in-depth guides on how to breed, or should I say fusion up high, if not max SV animons. You know, that's my specialty. Type B. Dungeons, which is super interesting. I want to know how the dungeon format is going to work. Is it going to be a raid den system like in Pokemon Sword and Shield? What is it going to be like, and how's it going to work? Super interested in that. And then we're going to have the mega evolutions. Now, what I'm super curious about is nowhere here did they include or entertain the thought of evolving your animons. As we do know, animon evolution wasn't included in testing phase 1, but obviously in the first trailer they showed evolutions with Goku evolving into Super Saiyan Goku, and obviously there's been people in the mod team and dev team that have said in future testing you guys will get to evolve your animons. So evolution is obviously naturally going to be part of the game, but mega evolutions is completely different. So mega evolutions is most likely going to be Luffy into Gear 5 Luffy, Goku into UI Goku, or maybe even Super Saiyan 4 Goku, etc. You know, this is going to be super interesting, and I want to know the direction. I'm really curious. I'm kind of hyped for the knowing or finding out the direction they went in with mega evolutions. Super cool, super interesting, and Pocket Anime is keeping us on our toes, and I love that. So cannot wait to get into the game to see what all of this actually feels and looks like in game. Pocket Anime is cooking, and they always have been. Cannot wait to see what the developers cook up with this game. I already know the OSTs are fire, the game looks beautiful, and I can't wait to actually play the game during release, not during testing. I can't wait to play during release. So we're gonna have to wait out till the later portions of this year to play the game during that September time frame. So make sure if you have any holidays booked for September, you cancel it now before it's too late. And yeah, man, if you have school, drop out. I'm gonna see y'all boys in the next one. Peace.